Okay, next I want to talk about the Patternator, and it's not going to be easy because it's such a complex and interesting thing that is so simply controlled, and the outcomes are seemingly infinite. I'm sure there's a mathematician who wants to disagree with me. I don't care. This thing is totally exciting. It's like a sequencer, and it creates a huge amount of variability. So let's dive right in. Okay, if you have the synth set up as I currently do, MIDI is controlling the envelopes and the Patternator sync is off, so I'm just playing normally. Okay, I'm going to set the Patternator going, and the way to do that, first of all, is to set synchronization to something. Since I don't have anything plugged in for it to synchronize to, it's not moving, but I'm going to direct it to the LFO as a sync source. And that gets it going. You can see that the 4-step CV sequencer is going. We don't hear anything yet because we have to set the envelopes to be controlled by it. I'm going to put both envelopes to be controlled by it. You could do either if you want, but I'm going to do both for the purposes of demonstration. Okay, now we can hear it. The CV functions are not turned on. Pitch and cutoff are currently off, but we can hear the beat. So the beat, but we can hear, I shouldn't say beat, we can hear the 8-step gate sequencer going. Now, how the 8-step gate sequencer works is that these two knobs control which of the 8 gates will play. And they do this having one knob controlling the downbeats and one knob controlling the offbeats. So as you turn these knobs down, it removes the 4 downbeats or offbeats according to where the knob is set. So I'm going to turn down the downbeats and they're going to disappear. And you can hear rhythms happening. Now there are no downbeats, and it may sound like downbeats to you, but what you're actually hearing are offbeats. That's syncopation happening right there. And I can turn that all the way back on, and I can take away the offbeats. Now those are all downbeats. Somewhere in the middle are some of the downbeats and some of the offbeats, and it creates rhythms or patterns. And so you can just do experiments to figure out where the pattern that you really like lies in arranging the offbeats and downbeats. And I demonstrated this in the first Fusebox video I made, that's the theme. You can actually see me turning these knobs, and you can hear different outcomes occurring as a result of me turning these knobs. So there are 8 steps in there, so you have 4 downbeats and 4 offbeats. And so you can create these relatively complex patterns out of very simple basic means. And then the next step is to apply the 4-step CV sequencer to this 8-step gating. You could start off, for example, with the cutoff. In this instance, the CV levels are basically arranging where the filter cutoff is. So you can get something like that going, and right now we are completely able to control these frequencies via MIDI. So if I play notes, this is going to change. which is, I now want to do a song with this. It's so hard to use without being inspired. And of course, your envelope settings are going to make a difference about how the gates affect them. So you have even more timbral possibilities. So right now I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Okay, so let's go on to pitch. We'll turn the filter cutoff down and let's just hear what it does to pitch. Now, as you turn the pitch up, the intervals between these settings are going to expand. So you can do something like that. I don't know, I'm just guessing. And so now you have a 4-step CV sequencer, but it sounds like more because of how the gating is different. And you could bring certainly the filter cutoff back in. So it sounds like 8 steps are happening with 4 notes repeated or something. But yeah, and then you don't even have to settle for those notes. You do have skip and reset that you can implement. Skip means the note is skipped. The 2 center ones are skipped. The second and fourth ones are skipped. So you can hear the variability you can come up with in a live setting. Those are kind of out of tune with each other, but we like that sort of thing. Okay, and you also have reset, which will, every time the sequence starts, it'll go back to the beginning when it hits a reset button. So if we do the second step, it's all first step. But that single note is still being affected by 8 different gates. So it's not just a repeated dot, 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 dot. You can hear all the cool rhythms happening. And so then we can reset other notes. And then it's 2 different notes affected by the 8 different gates. It gets very, very cool. Okay, now quickly, I want to do another thing that I was just told about. Okay, let's turn the envelopes back to MIDI, but we're going to keep the Patternator going, and I'm going to run the gate out of that and into the arpeggiator. Okay, let's see if this works. I mean, it does work. I have to figure out if I can do it, how I need to make it work. Okay, I put in a whole bunch of notes, and you can put in any number of notes. You can put in 16 different notes, and the arpeggiator is then subject to the gating that's being generated by that 8-step gate sequencer with the beat functionality. So now the beat functionality is controlling the triggering of the arpeggiator. So if you have both knobs turned all the way up, it's all of the steps of the arpeggiator. But as you turn down knobs, you're getting some of those steps going away. So you're actually controlling different gated steps in your arpeggiator, and it's very cool. But yeah, okay, so that is, let's keep in mind that this thing can be synchronized either by the MIDI note 0 or by an external source. You have CV steps out. You can direct those 4 CV voltages out to anything you want anywhere. And that is the Patternator.